Whenever I first become acquainted with you, which was last year, you told me about certain things that had occurred here in the county, going all the way back to the Civil War era.
Yeah.
And if you didn't enlighten me towards the big wreck that happened, the airplane wreck, I probably never would have been granted the privilege of being able to participate in making a contribution to that memorial site out there that they got out there in honor of those boys that died.
Yeah.
So you done a good thing by telling me what you told me, because it kind of put me on the hunt of the rabbit towards which way to go.
Yes, I was standing over in 1943 when she come over and went down there. I'd see that old plane right now going over.
You probably still remember it just like it was yesterday, don't you?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It wasn't, that plane wasn't flying probably twice of them treetop high over all. It was maybe treetop and a half high.
And it was a big plane too.
Oh yeah, B-17. Yeah, I saw that plane.
How old was you whenever that occurred?
Well, I was born in 35, so born 1935, February 23rd, 35, so I was 1943.
You was 8 years old.
8 years old when she went over.
Well, you know, I've done a lot of research on what was told up here in the museum, the fact that this is Palmersville, right?
Yeah.
That Palmersville should have been Martin, Tennessee, but because a certain person wouldn't sell no property, they had to divert the railroad in another area.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at that on the map, and you're very correct about that. If the governor, what was his name? McWhorter, if his family would have sold the property like they should have had, the railroad would have continued on straight. It would have probably got part of Latham, and it would have been right there in Martin. And this town was already growing in leaps and bounds before they diverted the railroad. Because back then, that was your life artery, was either rivers or
rail. Yeah, see this highway here, when this highway here was put in here in the early 30s. The old highway is the old road going to Dresden right over yonder.
It is.
Yeah. Right straight behind that house over yonder. I can go show you where it went. T-model and Buggy Road and all. This right down here, there's a road right here below this, right here in this holler.
Yes, sir.
Come out from way back yonder at Blooming Grove Church was an old T-model road. It's on part on me over there right now.
It is.
And that ain't nothing but a gully down there where it come through, where them old cars and buggies and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ain't no telling how much that stuff got pushed off in a ditch somewhere towards filling up a ditch back then. You know what?
And
between that and hay balers and tractors,
you know,
and everything else.
This back here, I mean to get it clean this time. Find some boys to help me. Find this man's rock right over here in this Civil War cemetery right over here behind me on my land.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right man's in there for the Confederacy Army.
Well, how old are you now?
I was 84 years old, 23rd day of February.
84.
Yeah.
Well, you still getting around good health-wise, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good for that age, you know.
Yeah, for that age, you're doing good. At least you ain't got this to have to contend with.
I went down here the other day and took some pictures down there at that Civil War. I mean, the B-17 Flying Fortress down there.
That memorial, did you?
Mm-hmm. I'll get them developed, and I'll have Jimmy. I'll have my buddy Mayfield blow up a great big picture of it.
Right. What I want to ask you about, do you know anything about Tommy Moore, the judge up here in Dresden?
Yeah, Nancy knows all about Tommy Moore.
Who does?
Nancy.
I knew him when he was like this.
You did? Well, I just got run out of the courthouse.
What did you do that you got run out of the courthouse? That's a public place, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I kind of got not loud, not sideways, but I did get irritated of the fact that I have tried and tried and tried since I've been back here for 4 years of trying to get something done about a family down in Cydonia Hop-In that we cannot get no type of resolution because of them agitating and aggravating my life. A matter of fact, it's got something to do with the death of my brother that died during all this turmoil, that Tommy Moore would not help in the situation, even though this family that I'm talking about took my brother down on his own property and took my brother's gun from him and put it to his head, and it just so happens the clip fell out and they tried to activate the gun, going to kill my brother on his own property before I ever come back here in 2014. And because David and I, that was my brother's name, David, didn't approve of how Tommy Moore handled that, we decided to take another situation, which was with the same family, to court, but we wanted it to go to a higher trial pertaining to Mr. Pence. Well, just so happens my brother died. And I was in the middle of a grieving stage, and also the attorney that I'd hired up in Union City, Tennessee, didn't let me know when the arraignment trial was. You know, you got to go before the judge for an arraignment, and I missed the arraignment, and because I missed the arraignment, they put a warrant out on me, and I was the one that wanted the court proceedings to begin with. They wound up forcing me to have to declare guilty on a charge that I never should have declared guilty on, pertaining to stalking.
Well,
the question that I got is this: what is wrong with the judicial system in this county pertaining to Tommy Moore?
Well, it's not only Tommy Moore.
I know that. I know it's not just Tommy Moore. But money talks. And it's no longer about justice. It's about who's got the deeper pockets, isn't it?
You're right. You're right about that.
And if you don't have no money, you're just screwed, ain't you?
You sure are. You are.
If you get caught in the middle of a dilemma. Now, you can't tell me that Tommy Moore used to not be that way, because I remember whenever he was attorney, and the first year that he started being a judge, if I'm not mistaken, was either 1990 or 1991.
I just knew him. I worked at the theater at Greenfield, and his aunt run the theater, and that's how I knew him. His daddy and mama would come over. And
of course, his daddy didn't have no legs.
No, his daddy was a good man. He was everybody, considered him really a good man.
Well, Tommy went to law school and got a degree, a diploma in law, and he practiced there for a while. But he jumped the saddle all of a sudden and went from being an attorney to being a judge. And usually you got to dedicate about 20 years towards being a attorney before you're ever given the opportunity or the position of being a judge.
Well, they ain't got no law out here, Dresden, no nothing, no none of it.
And the drugs has taken this county completely over. And that's what's wrong with the people over there that my brother and I are dealing with, or have been dealing with. He's dead now, so he's no longer dealing with them, but I'm still dealing with them on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis, and cannot get no type of, I guess the right word would be resolution, from the courts here in Weakley County, and I'm just wondering why. Because whenever I was growing up, I wasn't no angel, but I didn't give them no trouble other than a few speeding tickets. It ain't like that I was a meth maker. It ain't like that I was a baby raper. It ain't like that I was out here doing a lot of harm towards breaking into houses and stealing things and stuff like that whenever I was a kid. All I done was have to pay for a few speeding tickets because I had a lead foot whenever I was growing up. Well, that ain't being a criminal.
No.
But they have tried to criminalize me, and I'm just wondering what the heck has happened to Tommy Moore.
I don't know. I don't keep up with nothing that goes on out there, and I just know that the problems that we've had and everything.
Well, he was telling me that y'all had some pretty severe problems.
Yeah, we.
Is it because of who you are? That if you're just born on the wrong side of the railroad tracks anymore?
Probably a whole lot of,
Huh?
yeah, it's just like up here, Palm. If you ain't in a clique up here, well, you out of it. They got a clique up
They'll
here.
run you over and they'll do you any way that they want to do you, won't they?
Yep, if you let them. There, it's a clique, you know. Dredge is a clique too. Well, to tell you the truth about it, Dredge is the meanest little town, the crookest little place that ever was.
It is, isn't it? Germans.
Yeah.
Germans.
Yeah.
That's a German town.
Yeah, he Dredge up there, the man named after up there. He's up there in the cemetery up there.
Yeah.
He was German, yeah.
Yeah. A matter of fact, the Germans are real thick up towards, a lot of people don't know this, up towards Cadiz, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And up at Clarksville, where the military base is. The Germans was thick up in that part of the neck of the woods because a lot of them diverted after World War II. They come over here.
I was aimed to ask you something, I was over at the farm yesterday, and they've been down here on Sprouts Levee, and this band come through over there, and they had it was Bigfoot hunters.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been all over that bottom down yonder with my uncle hunting, and back in the 50s.
Yeah.
In the late, back in 45,
right,
when I was a little bitty boy.
Right.
Been all over the bottom, and I never heard of Bigfoot, but they've been back down there, and they said they've seen one down there. But I don't believe that.
In this day and time, I don't doubt nothing. I don't doubt nothing.
That's a TV show. That's all it is. It's just fake.
Well, a lot of people don't believe that man ever made it to the moon. But I believe that they did.
Yeah, they did. But like you say, a lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't believe that the Holocaust ever happened. But I believe that it did.
Yeah, that did happen there, no doubt about that. But a lot of people don't believe it.
But let me ask you a question. Why, it speaks volumes of the neighborhood, why would they have waited for so long about honoring a major accident pertaining to that plane wreckage? Why would they have waited so long?
That's like down there, though. You seen who made the speeches down there, up here, down there where that plane went out.
Right.
Shit, a lot of them men didn't see that plane. Hell, I seen it. Knowed all about it going down. Knowed all about when Camp Tyson was up yonder Camp Tyson was up there. Clarence Avenue worked at Camp Tyson up there. Me and Pat was over there one day. And the bottom down there, and the dredge ditch didn't have a bridge across the 10. Me and my brother seen him build that bridge.
Right.
Okay, went across the North Fork up down where Calvin Morris, and I heard something in the river. Me and Pap did. We was ditching down corn rows.
Okay.
Team.
Okay.
I went and looked over at bank, and there's a man coming. He was wading that river with a army suit on. He come over there and he followed us, I don't know how many rounds, talked to my dad, and I didn't say nothing much because, I kept my mouth shut. They told me if I went to somewhere, Joe, you find your place and sit down, and we don't want you interfering and talking and nothing with older people. So I hear all they saying, and he was there. He talked. He went back, and he crossed that. He went back across that river, and we never seen him no more. And then Herb Cold, them MPs up yonder, he was a big man. He was still up there in 1962 when I went to work there and worked 7 years in Paris.
Yeah.
They'd go get him MPs, to get them ruffians out up there. It was over. They had a lot of overseas people over up yonder at Camp Tyson. So they'd go get him. And he was a big enough man and stout enough man that he'd take 2 grown men and get them by you couldn't believe his hands. He'd get them by the back of the neck and knock their heads together and knock them out. He didn't need no blackjack or nothing. He just needed them giant hands. You couldn't believe how big.
Well, it's something whenever you go up into the courthouse to express your feelings about all this that like I said, my brother and I, now he's dead, and they basically order you out of the courthouse. It's a public place.
Why,
How can they do that? Unless I was showing hostility or violence, or unless I was threatening somebody or promoting some sort of hostility. How can they tell you that?
It's a damn clique out there. It's just a damn clique.
They don't want to hear the truth.
Nah, they don't want to hear nothing.
They don't want to hear the truth, man.
Nah, damn clique.
And you're telling me that you've known Tommy Moore ever since he was knee-high to a grasshopper?
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
I did. I mean, like I said,
That's like a
Was he a mean kid growing up in Greenfield?
I don't know anything about him other than, see, I live in Greenfield, and his aunt run the theater where I worked.
Gotcha. Well, you know, originally they was from over there, pretty close to Skull Bone.
I don't really know.
What's that called over in that neighborhood? Whiteville?
I don't know Nancy no more about that.
Whitehall. Ain't it Whitehall?
No, it ain't Whitehall.
Well, that's...
But anyways, that's where they was originally all raised up at, I guess, over in that part of the area.
I'll tell you.
Was Tommy? Was he in a lot of stuff growing up as a teenager?
I have no earthly idea. I wouldn't know. Because after, see, me and Bill Joe got married, and then, you know, I was just a kid working at the theater.
See, I've watched them grow in the past 30 years. Grow in power. Grow with big, nice vehicles. Grow with big, nice bank accounts. Grow with big, nice homes and stuff. I've watched them grow in their corruption that they're involved in.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And you can't tell me that some of these officials, especially the Masons, isn't taken apart towards allowing for the drugs to come over here into this area. It's destroyed this freaking country. All our factories is walked off. Our children don't have no future no more.
Well, out there they elected a sheriff back out here, Wilson, out there.
How many times has he been elected?
More, hell, been in there for 30 some odd years.
Right.
Anyhow, they elected him back, and there's two ruffian boys up here at Palmersville. They passed over at the house and passed me down there. I was going down to the other farm up there. He went off up there somewhere and had a wreck up here around Palmersville.
Uh-huh.
Went up there and told his daddy, told the law that I run him off the road, sideswiped his car, and caused him to wreck his truck. Well, I come over here, and the law come out there. I was going over and see about them cows up here behind that log house.
Okay.
He said, Joe, are you hurt? I said, hurt? I said, I don't know what the hell you talking about. And he said, well, your car tore up? I said, I still don't know what the hell you talking about. Tell me. He said, well, he said, you sideswiped them Blakemore boys up yonder. You sideswiped them because them have a wreck. I said, I'll tell you what, you go ask them son of a bitches up there how much dope they was on and how much they drinking by God, and check them out up there. Well, I asked Wilson, said, well, Joe, ain't nothing you can do about it. When you false report an accident, he lied to me.
That's a criminal offense.
And said you couldn't do nothing with him. He told me a damn lie, and I knew he was lying all the time. I know a lot about the law myself. But they don't like me out there no how. Hell, they
don't like anybody that stands up for your rights.
Nah, they don't care about you.
They don't like nobody that stands up to them.
Nah.
A matter of fact, the other day I was right over here. You know where the old church house was that fell in?
Yeah.
Or took a bulldozer and knocked it down?
Yeah.
I done already got permission of that guy of getting some brick. Matter of fact, we done already exchanged some money.
Yeah.
Here I am up there cleaning some brick away. Here comes the deputy sheriff. Pulls up there. I go, can I help you? He goes, did you turn around in a driveway down there by not Lexington, but Palmer, not Latham.
Yeah.
I go, I certainly did. Well, did you say something to somebody? Are you stalking that girl over there? I go, sir, I don't know them people from Adam. I go, I pulled in there because I wasn't getting good cellular connection on my phone, and I was going to turn around and go back to one of those stores there in Latham. And while I was there, The boy must have been having a bad day because he started screaming and hollering, "Get out of my driveway! Get out of my driveway!" I go, "Sir, all I'm doing is turning around. This is a driveway." "No, it ain't no driveway." I go, "No, it ain't no driveway. How come there's car tracks going in and out of here?" And because I must have had words with this guy that must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning, they decided to call me in. And I thought I was fixing to go to jail right up the road here cleaning bricks. And didn't know them people from Adam over there in Latham.
Hey, that you get them out of the old bank building up there?
Yeah.
That old bank building, yeah. See that damn boy, I don't like it. I don't mind telling you that Jim up yonder, they would have give him somewhere around $8,000 for that old bank down there to restore it.
Uh-huh.
That son of a gun up there tore it down. So he has his
just for spite.
Yeah. I got a calendar come out of the bank.
You do?
Yeah. 1927. That's when she went under.
You know where it is right away where I can take some pictures of it?
No, I got
or is it all boxed up and put way
put
back?
Up, and then sometime later I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you later. Maybe you take one up.
But I just can't believe how sorry that the law enforcement in this county has become.
Hell,
It's all about money anymore.
Yeah,
And as soon as I mentioned that to that girl up there on that second floor, I go, "Y'all have already done taken $650 from me. That's it. That's it. No more conversation. See you, Dennis. Have a good day, Dennis." I go, "Well, everything was doing all right until I said something about the money." I go, "As soon as I mention the truth about the money, I go, you want me to leave." I go, "How many times have I been in front of Tommy Moore, David and I, and myself towards trying to get something done down there in the Hop-In Sidonia community pertaining to a bunch of raging lunatics down there. I guess they're on drugs or need to be on drugs or something's wrong with them to be acting that way."
I got a problem over here with people over here. Them our dogs killed a bunch of cows and stuff over here. They won't do anything with them. The law won't do nothing with them at all. They over here. And being counseled up yonder, a judge up yonder in Nashville, and he said, "Yeah, Joe, the law will do something if they want to do it. But they ain't going to do nothing. They're corrupt out here. That law is out here Dresden. They own, and even down from him, from Wilson down to every one of them ain't worth shit."
Well, there are a few good county cops. There's a couple good county cops. I know a couple good county cops.
Well, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 good county cops. There really is.
But the biggest part of them ain't worth shit.
But now you got to take under consideration. Look at the enterprise that Martin has become because of that college. Now you talk about corruption.
Oh yeah.
Son, that right there ain't nothing but corruption from A to Z. They prey on them young boys and girls over there, not knowing what road to take and what all the laws are here in Tennessee. They want us to be stupid whenever it comes to the laws.
Yeah,
they want us to be ignorant whenever it comes to the laws of the land. Because they prey on people that don't know the law.
They were some guy down there the other day, I heard on TV in there over Paducah, some fool shot into a car or two down there and threw a crowd down there.
At Martin?
Yeah. Just the other day. They looking for wanting to find out who in the hell it was done it. Yeah, he hit the car and shot through. I'm understanding he hit the bullet holes, several of them down there, and shot through a crowd. But it just, Lord willing, he didn't hit nobody.
What kind of a crowd was it? Was it the? Was
something down there around the university down there.
Down around the some sort of a UTM event?
Yeah, something down there.
So it was a drive-by?
Probably, yeah.
A drive-by?
They crazy as hell.
When did that occur? Last week?
Yeah, this year in the last few days.
Really? Just last few days? See, I ain't heard nothing about that.
Yeah. No, this year's a corrupt outfit, I'm telling you, don't know.
But like you said, it's like that all over, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Really, tell you the truth about it, the world today, of course, It ain't like when I was raised up. The day the people's crazy.
They really are, ain't they?
And one more thing.
They don't have no fear of God. They don't have no reverence of God. They don't want to be around nobody that has reverence of God.
And one thing about it, you people today, they don't love one another.
No, sir, they don't.
You gotta like one another, love one another. You ain't even got a neighbor no more that gives a shit about you.
It's bad. It's bad. I'm going to tell you what, we could actually be looking at another revolutionary war right here in America.
You could wind up, they've been talking in there right there on television there last night. I sat up here, I didn't go to bed this morning. I don't ever go to bed after 12 o'clock. Shit, they talking in there about the Civil War starting.
I know it.
Well, let me, what do you do? I'm talking to you. What do you think about the high officials in Washington, D.C.? What do you think about Trump?
I think Trump was spoiled. I think Trump has good incentives. He wants to help America, but because of the entanglement of all the laws and all the corruption, he ain't never gonna get nothing done because they're gonna tie his hands every which way he goes.
Yeah, they just I don't really
I think he's sincere towards wanting to help us. I want to believe that anyway. I might be wrong.
I don't really like him.
No, I don't like him because he's got that snotty, snooty attitude. But how many rich people that you get around doesn't have a snotty, snooty attitude?
One thing I don't like about it, of course, McCain, he runs him down. And
I don't like that about him now. I don't.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all, neither. I don't either, because as far as I'm concerned, McCain was a hero. Even though he got captured and he had to go through all that cruelty that he went through, at least he didn't turn in a bunch of state's evidence or whatever you want to call it to the point that basically become a enemy of the state, like Hillary Clinton and some of the other ones that's selling uranium and everything else to the Russians and everything else. I mean, my God, don't you think those people should be held accountable for selling uranium, stuff that you can make nuclear bombs out of?
Well, you said something out there about if you're a poor man in this country anymore, which I'm a poor man, and
I am
proud of it.
I am too.
I don't wanna. I'm just a poor person, but they don't give a damn about you. If you ain't got big money and everything and all like that.
I'd rather cry with the saints than to laugh with the sinners.
Yeah. So it's a messy world to live in today.
It is. What do you send me that little old shovel right there for? What do you let me have that shovel right there for?
Well, that belonged to a buddy of mine and give him to me. Give him to that Owen Willis killed.
The what?
Owen Willis killed him.
Who killed him?
Owen Willis went up there and killed him, shot him. They shot each other and both of them did.
When did that occur?
Well, it's been 2012.
Where did that occur at?
Right up, just a little ways right up here.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't tell you a story that ever was. They didn't do nothing with him.
No documentation on
the house and everything out here. They had a big chicken stew over there across from where we lived up yonder, where this boy right here got killed up there, real close to it.
Well, did he get killed? Did he get killed in Palmersville?
Just up above our little way.
Really?
But that place up there, Ed Brooks was a constable up here, and they had a big chicken stew over there. There's a log house that's set over there. I can go show you where it's at. And it had a hall down the middle of it, and one room on each side of it.
Right.
Well, I went over there after they killed Ed over there. And there was women over there, and there was men over there too. The Mathis boys was up there, and they were outlaws of that part of the country up here at one time, and they were in Wild Jack McLean. I've got a thing on there that you might want to I'll let you take a picture of it. I'll have to get it out where you can see it. He was an outlaw of this country. One man, they beat up on him one time, and he stopped, and when he got through with him, he left this country and stayed gone to Wild Jack. Got killed down here in Tiptonville.
Really?
And and then I want to tell you one story where I'll finish it up. Linus McLean was born up here, and he lived up here when we lived up. We moved up there in '47. Well, he had a sister that she died down in Tiptonville. Well, just think about one thing. Think about leaving against the state line road up here and driving to Tiptonville with a pair of damn mules and a wagon. They dug that one. He said, there ain't no sister of mine going to stay down there in no cemetery down there. Him and that other man went down there and took shovels and dug his sister up and lifted her out. He was a stout man. Lifted her out and put her on a wagon. Brought her all the way back to McLean Cemetery up here in the north part of the county. I can show you where it's at. Took her back up there. On the way back, of course then it didn't embalm real good. And that woman busted wide open.
Ooh.
And they couldn't hardly stay on the wagon, his sister, but he brought her back.
Ooh.
They stopped at a funeral home, but he said, well, I can help you a little bit with her, but not much. So they took her back and dug her grave up yonder and took her back up there. And also there were his two brothers laying there. They was digging, they in a damn well, and some kind of gas killed both of them. They're buried up there in that cemetery, laying side by side up there in that McLean Cemetery. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you one more story. The Workman Cemetery up yonder, I'll take you up there sometime. You come back here and I'll show you. Always had a name of being haunted. And evidently, all the people that told me about it, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Haunted, that place up there. They found one man sitting over there. He was one guy, I'm going to tell you this. He come by the cemetery, and this horse rode up beside of him. Stayed right there and never said a word. So he thought, well, it's just a shadow or something. So he rode on up the road with him. And when he got up there to where the road turned right, he went that way and he went on.
Oh, hey.
He went across. And then there's a girl.
Is this cemetery that
there's a slave girl buried in there. She wants out of there. They come from Paducah, Kentucky, down there.
Is this cemetery that you're talking about? Is it still in the state of Tennessee, or is it over in Kentucky?
No, Tennessee. McGuire and it both is up there, great big cemetery.
McGuire, on the right or the left from here?
It'd be it's not on this highway.
Oh, it's not on this highway?
No, you got to get off it.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you sometime where it's at. Anyhow.
A lot of old tombstones up there?
Yeah.
Wild
Jack, they won't let him be buried.
Is there any tombstones up there pertaining to the Revolutionary tombstones?
No. It's this old place, though. I know some of them.
I was told up around the lake there's supposed to be some cemeteries up around the lake that's got a Revolutionary cemetery.
I can take you. That up there, that slave girl is buried in there, and they've been people that went by there, and she tries to get in a buggy with them. All that, but the reason I'm telling you.
Have you ever seen anything or heard anything?
No, because I ain't been there that much. I'm talking to older people from the way back a long time ago.
Right.
Didn't lie.
Right.
In other words, if they told you something,
it was
like
true.
I'm telling you what I'm telling you.
It's the gospel.
I'm telling you the truth. I ain't making up a bunch of junk.
Right.
Tell you another story down there. Truman Watts never would stay in the house. There's a store. It's not there no more. It was a little house there. It was built. That little house was a store. But a man went by there and he beat that man to death with a hammer. Killed him down there in the store. I can show you where it's at. Truman Watts lived in it for a while, and he had to leave out.
Right.
It scared him so bad. It not every night it happened, but you could hear that hammering in that house in that little store. So he left.
That's creepy, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
That's creepy.
I'm telling you
Let me
what.
ask you this. Are you familiar with that deputy that they found? I guess it was up in this part of the neck of the woods back probably 30 years ago. They never did find out who killed that deputy.
No, there's been some that's happened up here. A woman up here killed her husband, and they found him up there. My uncle, before he got killed deer hunting, wanted I help get them boys out of them trees down in that swamp. They were up there rabbit hunting, and they found him up there. But they said that they've done been there before, and he wasn't there.
What's the deputies winding up getting killed?
Now, I don't know who that is. Well, I know one boy. I know another man that got killed. Well, I do know. I knew a constable got killed up here. I know who killed him.
Why?
Well, he come over. He went over and killed him.
Why?
I don't know. They just
Think he was going to reveal some information? He's going to hurt a bunch of people?
well, no. They'd had trouble and they were actually
Legal trouble.
this
Thieving trouble.
Yeah.
Thieving.
Yeah.
Legal thieving.
But then one more thing I'll tell you. Now I didn't tell you about over there. I went over at that house where they killed Ed Brooks. Well, they left the table set. It wasn't disturbed. Where they'd eat, the forks and knives was there. Nobody there, but I went in and seen the bullet holes in there.
Really?
Oh yeah. Don't nobody know that I done all that. My dad and mother did. I went over there, and who lived there before, they all left and went north and never went to Ohio and never did come back here no more.
Who was the people that lived there?
John McClure drove a school wagon. I rode a school wagon for 3 years to Union School, pulled through Miller Tomlin Hills, come through by that cemetery.
Will you take me to that cemetery
Oh, yeah,
if I drive you right now?
No, I can't go now. I got to do my feeding. But I'll tell you what you do. You come back up here sometime.
I will.
Sometime on weekend. I'm going to carry you to a slave cemetery.
Okay.
The slaves were not, if you were a slave, you could not have a rock put to your grave.
Really?
Have a sandstone. It's two whites is all that's buried in a big, huge cemetery right over here. I'd show you a lot of stuff.
Why wasn't you allowed to have no?
Well,
No
they just
headstone.
they wouldn't let
Wasn't proper?
they wouldn't let a slave.
Wasn't considered proper, was it?
Well,
Because a slave was secondary and thirdary citizens.
yeah. But anyhow, it's in it somehow or another. It's in there that they wouldn't let them. They wouldn't let them have a regular tombstone to the grave.
Let me ask you one more time. Could you make me a shovel like that with the chicken legs and everything on there?
I don't know where the. Oh yeah, right there.
Could you make me something like that?
Well, them belongs to that boy. Our only thing is I would give you one of them, and I might have an extra one here. But then Broad Lane made them, and I got them after he died. He gave them to me.
He did.
And he got killed up there. That man shot him through the heart with a 22 pistol. But I want to keep them on that reason. But have we got an extra one of them there shovels, ain't there? Ain't nothing here, are there? Is it?
There's one down there on the end.
Yeah,
Got two. He's got two. He had three. I had three of them.
You don't know where the other's at?
Mary's got it.
Big.
Yeah. Remember, she already put on the
But I'll definitely come up here and me and you take a trip up there to that cemetery.
Well, I'll show y'all
I
that.
really want to see that.
I'll show you every bit of it.
I really want to see
I'll
that.
show you every bit of it. I'll show you Slave Cemetery.
But this whole county, the atmosphere towards how people treat one another and how the law exchanges,
he ain't got it.
it's all different now.
I want to tell you something
I
else.
told him what I thought about him standing out there, right out there in his driveway.
I want.
I told him, I said, if y'all was doing your job, we wouldn't be having there's your dog bread.
Wouldn't be having the
I
problem.
didn't
y'all
tell
have.
you another
I told
story.
him flat out. I was telling him. I told him flat out, both of them, two of them.
Roy Lay told me about it. That Bruce boy up there at McLean Cemetery, where I told you about, that they wouldn't let Wild Jack McLean. I got all the newspaper working on him where he was an outlaw of this country at one time. Nobody flew with Wild Jack McLean because he'd kill you. Anyhow, he was this cemetery, McLean Cemetery over there. That Bruce boy was over there deer hunting.
Right.
Roy Lay told me back. Whole long time before he got killed. Said Joey never would go back no more. And said, like from right here, he was over there, and this man walked right by him. Had a hat on and everything, walked right by him, and he spoke to him, but he didn't say a word. Standing there at that cemetery, that McLean Cemetery, said he walked out and disappeared right out there. Scared him so damn bad, that Bruce boy, he never would go back over there no more hunting.
Really?
Right. Never would go back. That's where he finally stuck his sister and buried him.
All right, I'm going to go. Good talking to you.
Yeah, come back.
I'll do
tell you,
it.
Let me give you a little.